When you think about college sports, who comes to mind first? Probably the coaches, right? Or the star quarterback. But behind the scenes, there's a whole other level of power. We're going to pull back the curtain on the figures at the very top of that pyramid, the elite athletic directors.
And to really get a handle on the kind of power these people have, you have to understand the scale we're talking about. This isn't just a game. It is a massive, massive industry. We're talking over $15 billion every year.
And yeah, that $15 billion, that's the engine they're in charge of keeping perfectly tuned and running full throttle. It's this incredibly complex machine powered by huge TV deals, ticket sales, sponsorships, alumni donations, you name it. So that naturally leads to the big question. Who is the executive sitting in the driver's seat of this multi-billion-dollar machine? Well, that's the athletic director, or the AD. But trust me, the job is way more complicated than you probably think.
So let's really break down what this job is all about. Because the AD of today, they're not just some former coach who got a promotion. No, they are a C-suite executive in every single sense of the word.
Think of it this way. The athletic director is literally the CEO of the sports department. They are the ones setting the vision, and at the end of the day, they're responsible for everything, from the wins and losses on the field to the profit and loss on the balance sheet. And their playbook? Wow, it is all over the map. One minute they're managing a budget bigger than a lot of corporations, the next they're leading huge fundraising campaigns or negotiating multi-million-dollar contracts for a new coach. And on top of all that, they have to navigate the complete wild west of name, image, and likeness, NIL, the new world where players can get paid, all while keeping an eye on like 20+ different sports. It's a lot.
But not all AD jobs are the same, not by a long shot. There's a very clear top tier, the powerhouse programs that are the absolute peak of the profession.
Yeah, we're talking about the big dogs, the names you know and hear every Saturday. Schools like Texas, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia. These jobs come with insane resources, enormous fan bases, and frankly, the power to shape the entire future of college sports. If you want to wrap your head around just how much influence we're talking about, just look at this number. $239 million. That's not a company's revenue. That's the athletic budget for one school.
And get this, that's not the university's budget. Nope. That is just the athletic department's annual budget at the University of Texas. It's the biggest in the country, and it's all managed by one person, the AD.
So you're probably thinking, with that kind of pressure and that much money on the line, the pay has to be pretty good, right? Well, you would be absolutely right.
And this chart right here, it just lays it all out. The median salary for a Division I AD is around 150 grand, which, it's not bad. But once you get into those elite power conferences, the biggest, most profitable leagues, that number just explodes to over $1 million a year. And that's just the base. Okay, let's put some real names and numbers to this. At Texas, Chris Del Conte's deal averages over $3.5 million a year. Tennessee's Danny White is right there with a base of $2.75 million. We're not talking about salaries anymore. These are full-on executive compensation packages, because that's what they are. Executives running huge entertainment businesses. So, the million-dollar question, or in this case, the multi-million-dollar question, is how do you even get one of these jobs? It's definitely not luck. It is a strategic, tough climb that can take more than a decade. Here's basically the blueprint. It starts with education. You pretty much need a master's in something like sports administration. Then you got to put in the time. At least a decade of real experience, usually starting in compliance or maybe as a deputy AD. And here's a huge one. You have to prove you can raise money. Serious money, like leading $10 million fundraising campaigns. All the while, you have to become an expert on the maze of NCAA rules and build a powerful network of contacts across the country.
But here's the thing. Making it to the top is only half the battle. Staying there and actually succeeding in today's world of college sports, that's a whole new ballgame.
Just look at the gauntlet these ADs are running today. They're trying to figure out direct revenue sharing with athletes, deal with a billion-dollar NIL market run by these booster-led groups called collectives, and handle the total chaos of conference realignment, where the ground is constantly shifting. And you have to add in a much bigger focus on athlete mental health, all while the budgets are getting tighter. It is a constant, high-wire balancing act.
This quote just hits the nail on the head. It's not enough to love sports. It's not enough to be a great business person. You need the diplomatic skills of a top executive to manage all these competing demands, from the academic side of the university to the absolute need to win.
So, Look, the landscape of college sports is changing faster than ever before. It's crying out for a new generation of leaders who can handle all this complexity with real vision. The path is there, the challenges are huge, and the only real question is, who's going to be the one to step up and lead the way?